South Dakota State. They'll be playing Sunday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Coach Nessman, before we talk about the Jackrabbits, are the guys ready to go? And a lot of us got to see the exhibition game. I'm not sure how much you learned from that, but you ready to get the season going?
Oh, there's no question. The guys are excited. You know, if you think about when we started preparing for this year, it was last March. So they're definitely ready to play, and we'll see how ready we are when we take the floor Friday night.
Now, when you said that the preparation began as soon as the WAC tournament ended last year, is it a mental preparation? Is it in the weight room? Is it shooting jumpers? What does that mean?
Well, we're allowed to work with our guys during the off season, except during the summer. So there was a lot of practice time too on the court. There's also a considerable amount of time in the gym on their own, and then obviously in the weight room. And Coach Cobian's working with them there. He did a great job with them in the off season and in the lead up in preparation for the year.
Is there any part of the psychologist in you that thinks it helps that the season didn't end on this great run where they think they're this great basketball team, where they had a dose of humility? I mean, I know they won in the WAC tournament, but you know what I'm saying, I know that it's a confident group, and yet they know that they still have a long way to go. Oh
yeah, we're carrying a big chip on our shoulder in terms of something to prove. There's no question, but I don't know if it's an advantage. You get most advantages out of success, not out of not succeeding. But I think the guys know that we still have a lot to prove, and that's very much their focus. That we're going to take this one day, 1 week at a time, and we need to accumulate good results. And a lot of that is proving themselves. And you can't luck your way into a top 4 finish in our conference or into the postseason. You have to earn your way in, and that's very much the mindset of our players.
You get C.J. Webster and Chris Owens and Devontae Thomas and Deshaun Wright and Tim Pierce and Justin Graham. You've had these guys for a while. Mac Peterson. You've added a few new pieces to this team. Pretty good camaraderie. Do you like the chemistry of these guys?
No question. They've been together now, as you mentioned, in most cases at least a year, and some 2 and 3 years. Because we have a number of red shirts amongst the names you mentioned, and that helps. You know, there's no doubt that the guys have an affection for one another, and they're definitely a team in the sense of how they're going at this, and they know that they need to be together and on the same page to succeed, and we're definitely taking that approach into the season.
Do you like the fact that when teams prepare for San Jose State this year, you've got the bigs, you've got a point, you've got some shooters? Do you feel like you're finally presenting an opponent with a team that can attack you from several different angles?
Well, there's no doubt we have more weapons than we've had. Part of that is the improvement in the players that we have, and then part of that is, you mentioned, adding some pieces, you know, Robert Owens, Adrian Oliver, who are going to be big components in our team as the season unfolds. Yeah, I mean, that's a standard model for success in college athletics. You recruit young players, have them develop, and then your program grows as they grow. And I think that's happening with us. We saw a big jump in our production last year, and we'd be disappointed if we don't have another jump in production this year from our guys, and that should lead to better results.
Preseason polls mean nothing, but it's
you're right, they do.
Well, mean nothing. But it's still fascinating that there's some think you're going to finish 3rd, and there's some think you're going to finish 6th, and that to me is a pretty big difference.
Well, let's consider the sources. The media thinks we're going to finish 6th, right. So what could they possibly know? The coaches see us a little higher, but again, you can't. It's really hard to sit in October and evaluate teams on paper and come up with something real concrete. Maybe on a national level, you know, we know that North Carolina's pretty good, and they've done it before. And we know that, you know, UCLA is going to make another run. They have a significant amount of players back. But in our conference, there was a lot of turnover. I think it is fun for people to talk about, but we really didn't spend any time discussing it as a group. It just isn't that important to us. It's nice for the fans to chat about and the experts to chat about, but for us, really, it's about getting ready on the court and going in and taking the right attitude in the game.
Okay, I always like to let you know that you're helping the Bay Area out, basketball fans, with our geography lessons. Tell us how the Spartan basketball team gets to Brookings, South Dakota.
Well, we're flying into Omaha, Nebraska, and then taking the scenic route on the bus up to Brookings, and then we should arrive Thursday late afternoon, early evening. Okay. And we'll have a scouting meeting. We'll practice. We'll come back and have a team dinner. And then Saturday morning, we'll get up and bus our way down to Lincoln, and then right after the game Sunday, head back over to Omaha and fly home. Travel's, you know, we have a layover on this thing too, so that's the best laid plan. We actually are putting in our scout today on South Dakota State, our full scout, where we normally do it the day before, because we can't count on that travel schedule holding up. There's been a lot of snow in the Midwest, so we have to be concerned about that.
I won't ask you about Nebraska, but certainly that's the Big 12 team that our fans will be more familiar with, unless they were at Walton Pearson Court a year ago. The Jackrabbits were in town. Great basketball game. The Spartans won in overtime. So just your thoughts on opening against South Dakota State.
Well, they're a program that's attempting to grow, and they have 4 starters back, and I think their 2 best players from last year, Kai Williams and Grant Callahan, are back, and they're both really good scorers. Williams got us for 18 last year. They're going to be tough. They have people need to recognize how difficult it is to win on the road in college basketball as well. And I know that it's hard to really gauge how important that is, but I can just tell you as an insider, and you've been with us, Mike, it's really difficult to win on the road. So that's part of this challenge, is taking our act out there and being able to succeed away from home.
Guys fired up, ready to go?
Oh, there's no question. There's a lot of fired upness, and we'll see if that equates to playing well.
Good luck.
Thanks, Mike.